Bam! What's up? I'm back with another one. It's the Great Debate Show, one half of the good guys. I just came back to tell you some breaking news. About a few minutes ago, we learned that the NBA draft lottery pick is confirmed. Numbers 1 through 4. It's official. The Dallas Mavericks win the number one draft lottery pick, um, and they will be picking number one in the NBA draft. And from what I'm told, unless there's some complete idiots, they're picking Cooper Flagg at number one. Now, that leads to my next question. How do you feel about this lottery pick? How do you feel about the Dallas Mavericks now that they have got that number one pick and they will be drafting Cooper Flagg? They've talked to Cooper Flagg already. Cooper Flagg next to Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively. I got to figure out what the starting five will look like, but this number one pick did not go to the team that needed it the most, the Charlotte Hornets. Um, they the one who really needed it. When you look at the other teams like the Spurs, who came in at number two, I thought they were about to nail it, but they didn't. That would have been nice. I have a few people in here on the Great Debate Show audience here on YouTube Live that were talking earlier about Cooper Flagg being a Spur, being with the Spurs, being with Wemby, and it would be great. That's not going to happen. It looks like the Mavericks is who will be drafting Cooper Flagg. Now, here's the big thing, though. And that does sound like a big three. If Cooper Flagg is that dude, like everybody tells me he's that dude. Because I'm not going to lie, I haven't really watched him like that. I didn't get to watch a lot of college basketball, I'm sorry. But I've heard great things. I've even heard Jason Tatum comparisons. I've heard LeBron James explosiveness. The only thing that I question is, well, I was told that he wasn't like the closer that you would like him to be, though. In crucial moments, he struggles to get the shot that he needs when it's time to get that shot. I don't know if that's really true or not. I can't say. But my brother's a Duke fan, and he told me that there were a few things he was worried about Cooper Flagg in this game that he wanted him to show in this season here, and he did it though, whatever that was. So he's telling me that Cooper Flagg is the real deal. Everybody else is telling me that Cooper Flagg is the real deal. So if he's now going to be the number one pick, how do you like him with the Dallas Mavericks? Do you think this was rigged? That's what everybody's thinking. That's what everybody's saying on the internet already. I'm pretty sure of it because isn't it um, ironic how the Dallas Mavericks, a team who has been getting trashed for the past few months since they made a trade, trading their star Luka Doncic to the LA Lakers, the Western Conference competition and all of that. They didn't even have enough decency to send him to the Eastern Conference. The Mavs have been getting beat up. Nico Harrison has been like the butt of all jokes since this has happened. And now, conveniently, they get the number one pick and they can draft Cooper Flagg, which most people would say would replace Luka just like that. How do you feel about that? That's why you will hear and see a lot of people say that this was rigged. I've been saying on my podcast here on the Great Debate Show for a while now. I just try not to talk about it as much because it ruffles some feathers and it turns some of my greatest fans or some of my biggest fans, it rubs them the wrong way. Some of them kind of leave because they don't want to hear this obnoxious guy who likes to tell you how right he is with some of these games, these bets, and how fake it is. And he still has a football team. I know, I get it. So I tried to scale back on saying how rigged all sports can be. But everybody is saying it's rigged now. I'm looking at it all over the internet. I can read comments. Everybody's saying it's rigged. And I'm agreeing with them. And so we have to understand, though, that if they will rig this, they can rig any and everything else. That's all I'm saying. We can't think that and say that it's rigged today, what we won't say it in the finals, in the playoffs, or whatever. Some people only say it when it's convenient for them. That's what I'm trying to say. I say it 365 days a year. Yes, it's rigged. It's no coincidence that the team that traded Luka away and has been getting trashed, and the fan base probably has given up on him, probably then cashed in their season tickets for next season, and they ironically just seem to get Cooper Flagg, the number one pick, fall in their lap. It was not. the not Bobcats. It was not the Charlotte Hornets. The Spurs fell short at number two. The Sixers fell short. They were number three, and number four was the Utah Jazz. None of those teams got it. Teams that needed them, Utah and Charlotte, well, they could have used Cooper Flagg. And it goes to Dallas. Now it's almost like no harm, no foul, no harm at all, right? Just like that, Luka's been replaced because he can be the next Luka, right? If not better. I hear he's more explosive. He doesn't really have shooting slumps. Um, I don't know. He's a bad boy, right? So my question to the Maverick fans, regardless if it's rigged or not, does this make up for the Luka trade now? Are you okay with that? Are you going to forgive Nico Harrison? Are you going to forgive the NBA? Because honestly, this is just a favor in return for the dumb shit that they made the Dallas Mavericks do. This is the league just returning the favor back. Hey, we know that was effed up what you did. You know, what we needed you to do it, like ratings. This was huge for ratings. We didn't talk about the Super Bowl. The upcoming Super Bowl was the following weekend. We didn't really talk about it because that was breaking the internet. The Luka trade to the Lakers. How ironic that they get to make up for that and just this is the NBA saying, hey, we know that was foul, but here you go. In return, this is what you get, and that was probably the plan in the first place, and that's why Nico Harrison seemed to be so confident in it in that pick, doubling down on it, standing on business, knowing that he was going to get this number one pick in the first place. I would hate for anything to happen to him now. Why fire him now? You hadn't fired him since the trade. The season has ended. You've gotten it to start your off season. We've got free agency. I would hate to see him get fired now. But if nothing's gonna happen to Nico, I'm sure he's somewhere smiling with his feet kicked up, and he's probably known this all along. That's why he did so much talking after the trade. People were saying, "Man, just shut up. You fucked up. Just be quiet." Well, did he? The NBA, the league made them do this. It was for ratings. It was for the Lakers to always get what the Lakers get. Stars, Showtime. It's what it is. That is for something written in the script, probably for the next few years down the road. Who knows? But they give the Mavericks, they return the favor back immediately. If Cooper Flagg is that dude, like you all tell me he is, then they're returning the favor just like that, right? So I just wanted to say that Cooper Flagg is now going to be a Dallas Maverick more than likely. Now, here's the catch. Would the Dallas Mavericks draft Cooper Flagg, or would they trade that number one pick to Milwaukee, or draft them and then trade Cooper Flagg to Milwaukee for Giannis Antetokounmpo? I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just asking that question. I was live earlier today talking about this lottery pick and what it would mean for the team that won it. And I was also discussing the winner of that lottery pick. Would they draft Cooper Flagg? It depends on who won it. And my thoughts were, hey, man, if it's the Rockets, I wouldn't trade Cooper Flagg. I would play with the Rockets because he is what they're missing, offense. You don't have to give up some of the better players, young and up and coming players that you have for Giannis. You could, but you don't have to, and I probably wouldn't if I was the Rockets. Now, the Spurs, on the other hand, I don't know. Some people, Spurs fans in this comment section earlier today said that yes, if we get the draft pick, we draft Cooper Flagg. We're not trading that stuff to Milwaukee for Giannis. And of course, if it was Charlotte or Philadelphia, I probably wouldn't do it either. But they didn't win. The Dallas Mavericks won the pick. And just like that, it's like Luka who? That's what they're trying to say. That's what they're trying to tell the fan base. If you're Maverick fans out there, do you forgive the Dallas Mavericks now? And before you say, well, wait a minute, Jarvis, the Mavericks just got lucky. They had nothing to do with this. They probably wouldn't have made the trade for Luka if they were not guaranteed that this would be the favor. the return of investment right here. In order for you to do that, we're going to do this. And I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why that deal even went through. They knew all along that they would get this number one pick. No one believes, and I don't know how that stuff works with they just put the ball in the machine and they just see what number goes to who. It's still rigged. They didn't show us the ball. They just revealed the teams in order. So you tell me, was it rigged? Was it not? But Cooper Flagg is a Dallas Maverick. We think if the Mavericks draft him, do you like Kyrie, AD, and Cooper Flagg? That sounds like a big three, right? Or do the Dallas Mavericks trade that pick to the Milwaukee Bucks for Giannis Antetokounmpo? What else would they have to send Milwaukee, though? Would that one pick be good enough for Giannis? Or would that pick be good enough to get Giannis and another player from Milwaukee? How would you do it? Would you rather see Kyrie, AD, and Cooper Flagg, or Kyrie, AD, and the Greek Freak? That's gonna be the thing. I see pictures and photos already. You can see I already have one in my thumbnail. They look pretty good together. What do you think? They don't look bad. Cooper Flagg, a Dallas Maverick. He's not going to the shittiest team in the league. He doesn't have to go play for Charlotte. He doesn't have to go play in Utah. He's going straight to the top. Because when Kyrie comes back healthy, and AD and Lively, and what does this mean for PJ Washington? He's going to the bench. It is what it is. Sorry, buddy. But he's going to the bench. But the starting five for the Dallas Mavericks don't look bad with Cooper Flagg. Or will they say, no, no, we think it's going to be another 5 years before he's who you all say he's going to be. We can win now. Let's get Giannis and really spark this thing up and be the best in the West. And they wouldn't give a damn if they saw the Celtics or if they saw the Cavs or if they saw whoever in the finals. They probably be the favorites. Would they? Kyrie, AD, and Giannis Antetokounmpo? Or would you settle for Flagg? That was the comments that I made earlier today on the episode earlier, the live stream earlier, where I asked Giannis or Cooper Flagg. And that question still remains the same for Dallas. We think they will draft Cooper Flagg, but what if they think they're in win now mode and Cooper Flagg is going to still take a couple of years to develop into who we think he's going to be? Would they keep him and develop him into that? Because we thought that their championship window was still okay without this number one pick, without a Cooper Flagg. So maybe they can, take the time to develop him. But it just depends on how greedy they are, how desperate they are. What if they say, nah, send him to Milwaukee, we want Giannis? What if they don't think what we think about Cooper Flagg? They just want the pick. Maybe they have no intention of having Cooper Flagg. Who knows? We don't know for sure. But I do have to admit, it sounds good. It sounds good. The NBA going back to NBC this fall. Michael Jordan is going to be on there. He will be a contributor to the NBA, to the live coverage on NBC. That's going to be interesting. The Knicks could be in the NBA Finals next year. I've already predicted that we would have like the Knicks or somebody from the old school, from the 90s, early 2000s in the finals. And we could get the Knicks and the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know. Right now, Boston is up 39-30, second quarter, 11 minutes in New York. I predicted both road teams to win tonight, unfortunately, even though I hate the Celtics. I predicted the Celtics would win tonight. I also predict the Wolves to win on the road. Both road teams is who I went for, so here we go. Anyway, though, it was a wild draft lottery, to say the least. And nobody thinks it was real. But I just want to know, Dallas Maverick fans, do you forgive the NBA? Do you forgive the Dallas Mavericks? Do you forgive Nico Harrison for that trade? If you think it's rigged, then you have to know there's no need to blame Nico. He did what he was told to do, but this was the favor that he would get in return. Kyrie, AD, Flagg. Kyrie, AD, Coop. Sound like a big three? Or do they go for Giannis? What do y'all think? I'll be back a little bit later. Give me a few hours. I got to watch Monday Night Raw. And then after that on Netflix, we're coming back. Me and Terrence, my co host, will be here with the post show. Knicks, Celtics going on right now. Second quarter, 39-33. Celtics up by 6. Man, the Mavs get the number 1 pick. How ironic. What a coincidence. After what they did with the Luka trade, they get the number 1 pick so they can draft Cooper Flagg and replace Luka Doncic. What a coincidence, right? Because that's all it is a coincidence, right? If you're the Mavs, do you play Cooper Flagg? Do you pick him, draft him, and play with him, or do you trade him to Milwaukee for Giannis Antetokounmpo, or do you go for a KD or a Zion Williamson? What do you do if you're Dallas? Or are you fine with just making that pick and playing with Flagg? You got to admit, they look good on the picture in the thumbnail, right? That looks like a big three to me. Ah, the Sixers could have made some noise too if they got that pick. The Spurs could have made some noise if they got that pick. But the Jazz and the Hornets needed it more than anybody. And unfortunately for them, they did. The Mavs could be they could be favorites here in the West. I can't wait to see what that's going to look like. But we got to get to the draft first, and we got to see if they're really going to draft this guy, Cooper Flagg, or are they going to trade him for a big time player like Giannis? We'll see. I got to watch Raw. I'll be back for the post show after Monday Night Raw on Netflix is over with. And then tomorrow, I'm going to talk about all of this draft lottery pick, the results from tonight's NBA playoffs. Again, I got the Celtics and the Wolves to win, even though I want the Knicks to win this series, and I hope I'm wrong. I'll recap all of that in the morning till we eat again. Y'all be safe. I'm out.